Hey guys, Rav here, and this is my 106 tips and tricks for DayZ. Be careful when hitting zombies for clothes, as you can damage or ruin them. Bandage dressing is now better than rags, as it is quicker and can be used 4 times. Trees can block rain, keeping you dry. You can attack 2 zombies at once, stunning each of them just before they can hit. When injured, codeine bumps up your movement speed for 5 minutes. If you find a gun with a mag in it, it won't be chambered. Don't forget to bolt it back. Wearing a helmet/mask will muffle your voice. A flashbang can kill a fully geared player. A wooden axe will one-shot zombies. At night time, try not to silhouette yourself, as you are easier to see. Like I said in my medical guide, take some of your own blood for use later. It can be a lifesaver. Don't cancel taking the blood bag, as you can only start filling it up once. Baking food, which can be done on a stick, will increase the energy value of the food by 75%, whereas boiling food will increase the energy value of the food by 25%. I'd say boil food when you can. This is the best way to prepare food, as it doesn't lose any hydration values. Never eat with bloody hands, you can get sick from it. If you have bloody hands and cannot wash them, have a friend feed you to not risk infection. You can get kuru, the cannibal disease, from human blood on your hands. You can wash your hands from bottled water. You can relight a fire by blowing on it. You can break bushes with your bare hands. You can break a long stick into smaller sticks using your hands. Open a box of ammo to half its weight. Pre-med just before a fight, either morphine, codeine or saline, so that when you do get a hit you will have the added benefits. Is a zombie catching up to you? Spin around and punch it once to slow it down. Put a grenade in a fireplace and it will cause it to explode, killing everybody there. Logging out but then cancelling it will force your character to sit down even if you can't use the hotkey. The leather jacket is the best jacket for armor protection. You can upgrade a fireplace into a furnace with large stones. You can then put a cooking pot on top of this now as an alternative to using a tripod. Ovens made from a fireplace last 7 days, a great place to store your items. You can see out of this window but not into it. Carry tyres within a bag so that you can jog instead of walk. You can pick a worm from the ground using a knife. Don't have a bandage? Well, wait it out, your blood will eventually clot. It takes about 5 minutes. An EpiPen can be used to instantly wake up an unconscious player instead of using the CPR. Depending on the surface you're walking on depends on how far an infected can hear you. Load shotgun shells in an alternate order like this: buck, slug, buck. This allows you to quickly choose between long range or close range by ejecting the round. Just don't forget which one is chambered. You can see if a gun is jammed by looking at this stuck bullet. A zombie or any AI cannot set off a bear trap or landmine. Shooting a player's gun will damage it or ruin it like it did in this clip. Relogging by an animal body will cause it to despawn if you're the only one in the area. You can now attach the pistol suppressor to the scorpion. Running water is safer than the stagnant ponds. Melee weapons will get damaged while attacking enemies. Keep a check on them. Hunting scopes have a minimum 0 of 200, so be careful as this won't be accurate close range. Verticality is your best friend. Don't forget you can load an extra shot into a shotgun. You can wring your clothes to dry them. The red dot gets fucked up when the sun is behind it. Jump way before you get to a small fence to avoid the animation. A Barazino spawn is the quickest way to northwest. Take a risk to say hello. Try to talk before your opponent can see you. There's a Santa in the smokestack. You can fill up gas containers with water, perfect for your base. You have 2 different zeros, one for iron sights and one for the scope. You can climb anything up to 2.3 meters high. It takes a third of your stamina to climb. Zombies can be attracted to your voice. You can eat human lard without getting kuru. You can add fat to torches for them to last longer. A torch can be soaked in gasoline. Load tracers every 5 rounds or so to keep track of where you're shooting. You can climb trees. An SVD can now be suppressed, so watch out. Avoid an improvised suppressor on rifles like the BK-18 if you don't have a scope, because it blocks your line of sight. The whisper/shout feature doesn't affect the volume of the VoIP but the distance. 7 meters for a whisper, 25 meters for the normal talk, and 45 meters for a shout. By changing the fire mode on a double barrel, which is X on PC, you'll be able to shoot both rounds at once. The same can be said for the blaze. An item will get drenched if you put it in a cooking pot. Zombies can spawn wearing a head torch, which will then be switched on. You can tell how old a body is by its state of decay. You can now throw items from the prone state. A ruined heat pack will continue to keep you warm. You can craft an improvised fishing hook with animal bones and a knife. You can craft an improvised fishing pole with a long stick and a rope. Items now spawn in these greenhouses. The MBC suit is waterproof. You use more energy/food while cold. The capacity of the water bottle has been doubled. Depending on how you kill an animal will depend on how much meat you get from it. You can remove cholera from infected containers using disinfectant or alcohol. Vitamin pills boost your immune system for 5 minutes. The leather sewing kit can no longer be used to treat injuries. You must gut and prepare a fish before you can eat it. You cannot empty bottles inside. If you're really anxious about losing all your gear in a fight, try to drop your bag with the most valuables in it hidden in a bush. You can always run back for it if you die. If you're lucky enough, you can find an engraved version of the cult. Place landmines in dead corpses so they cannot be seen. It works well with zombies. It's quicker to crouch run with a crate in your hands than it is to stand, which forces you to walk. You jog faster without a gun in your hands than you do with a gun. This is not sprinting though. Carry cooked human meat, not to eat but to use as a body warmer in the rainy storms. Cooked food never cools down, perfect for keeping you warm. Don't forget you can saw the barrel off the double barrel, making it an amazing secondary. You will be forced to take one step when landing after a jump in whatever direction your character is facing. This makes it especially hard to land on small posts. You can crawl through a lot of windows now, even some that don't look possible. Suppressors currently attract zombies. This is a bug. You can only stand properly on a tent if it was placed within that restart. You will have to replace the tent again for it to be solid to stand on, otherwise it will be buggy. Bears are weak to the net. Loot spawns in these attics on Livonia. These yellow signs mean you're approaching a military location. Loot can spawn in these ovens on Livonia. So that brings us on to the end of the video. I'd like to say a thank you to everyone who suggested tips in my Discord or on my community page. The Discord will be linked in the description below, and for everyone who's made it this far in the video, here is a bonus tip I found while recording the video. You can cancel the reload animation by reloading while prone and then standing up.